If this goes on, don't panic. Bringing hope to the world through speculative fiction.
Hello and welcome to our audio column Spec Fic Partisan by Rick Claypool. Rick is the author of Leech Girl Lives and The Mold Farmer. His new book, Tentacle Head, should be out later this summer. And you can find and purchase those books from any fine distributor of books. So, without any further delay, here we go.
Some people get so riled up about microgenres. After author Charlie Jane Anders proposed a new microgenre called Sweetweird, which is basically premised on stories set in strange, broken worlds that emphasize kindness and found family, the initial reaction I saw was totally irate. Detractors seem to perceive this microgenre as a threat to serious adult stories that explore sex, violence, cruelty, greed, and the darker side of the human experience. It might be the context of when I found out about Sweetweird that made the criticisms ring so false to me. I happened to glance at my phone in the middle of watching an episode of The Boys. This was an episode in which a rogue superhero with the power to shrink down to the size of a bug had just tried to get his partner off by crawling inside his partner's penis. And the bug-sized superhero accidentally exploded his partner's torso in a burst of extreme gore after a sneeze triggered the shrunken superhero's accidental reversion back to a normal adult man size, while still in his partner's penis. Point being, in the moment I saw people being annoyed about Sweetweird, the notion that this wholesome microgenre posed some sort of threat to adult media didn't seem super credible to me. Now, disclaimer. This is where I check my privilege and say, as a white, cishet American man, I have a particular point of view, and that point of view comes with all kinds of blind spots. I could be missing something. Some have suggested to me that what made people angry was not the Sweetweird microgenre per se. The problem was, it has been suggested that the Manifesto claims Sweetweird is a morally superior microgenre. It didn't land that way for me, but I can see why people would be bothered by that. Anyway, the whole kerfuffle struck a chord with me. I approach this stuff from the point of view that it's fine for some people to enjoy one type of thing and for others to enjoy other types of things. But beyond the whole the let people enjoy things side of this, what's even more interesting to me is the feeling I have that the more microgenres there are, the better. My suspicion is that broad genre categories like horror, sci-fi, western, and so on mostly benefit the biggest and most well-established creators in those genres. Non-famous writers working within big genres inevitably are working in communities and selling in markets that are dominated by and arranged around those big and well-established creators. What about writers that want to build communities and markets of their own? Against folks who find the proposals of new microgenres to be annoying, I propose the Sourweird Manifesto. Just kidding. What I'm proposing instead is what I call microgenre maximalism. Microgenre maximalism starts with the basic assumption that it's a good thing when authors, publishers, readers, whoever, for whatever reason, makes up a new microgenre. Even if it is not a genre that you personally feel compelled to explore, I think the creative community should broadly be in favor of creators, especially us small-scale indie types, making up microgenre categories to describe our art. Microgenre maximalism means let a million microgenres bloom. I think embracing microgenre maximalism would make it easier to build community around microgenres that, for whatever reason, multiple creators click with in one way or another. Like if a couple of authors whose art I enjoy started going around calling their stuff absurdist sadcore or something like that, I might feel compelled to call my stuff absurdist sadcore too. And then if different books labeled absurdist sadcore click with readers, well, that might draw more readers to search for more absurdist sadcore. And before you know it, we have a community of readers who sometimes like to read absurdist sadcore. What makes me think this would work? Well, it already works for music. I think online music store Bandcamp offers a model of genre-forward art market that lets independent musicians shine in a way that an online bookstore like bookshop.org could emulate to help small press and independent authors shine. The thing I like most about Bandcamp is that albums can be tagged with multiple labels. One I've been listening to has a total of 9 tags, including a very broad genre category of electronic, as well as microgenre categories like dark ambient, post-vaporwave, dungeon synth, and hypnagogic. Bandcamp's design allows listeners separately to browse each of these tags, like rows of CDs in a music store in the 90s. It's not hard to imagine an online bookstore version of the same that would allow readers to explore virtual bookshelves with broad tags like science fiction, along with narrower tags like post-apocalyptic and Sweetweird and absurdist sadcore and whatever. Will finding books through a microgenre maximalist online bookstore like I'm imagining be an experience as rich and fulfilling as discovering something new in your favorite local brick-and-mortar independent bookstore? Of course not. But most brick-and-mortar bookstores have only a very limited selection of small press books. A microgenre maximalist online bookstore will help publishers and authors grow the audiences and increase demand for new and interesting stories in a way that's just not possible through current channels. Right now is an incredible time for small press and indie creators. Whether you love or hate my microgenre maximalism idea, I think small press authors and indie creators should be looking for ways to raise each other up instead of smacking each other down. I think if we find ways to band together and collectively advance the community as a whole, as opposed to holding out hope any of us as individuals will hit the mainstream success jackpot, we will do a world of good. Not just for our own efforts to reach our audiences and the audiences who would be excited to read our stuff, if only they knew it existed, but for the next generation of writers. Now, I can see how this could sound a little too optimistic. Too kumbaya bullshit, too Sweetweird for many. But to paraphrase one of my favorite leftist theorists, Antonio Gramsci, who died in a prison in fascist Italy, the pessimism of the intellect should not constrain the optimism of the will. I say, microgenre maximalists unite.
Okay, that was Rick's column. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find our episodes anywhere you get podcasts. You can talk to us on Twitter at @IfThisGoesOn with an underscore between each word, or over at Facebook. If you want to help us out, you can spread the word about our podcast. Donate at our Ko-fi account, and that's Ko-fi, K-O-F-I. You can just search If This Goes On, and we'll pop right up. Or search us at our Patreon account. That's patreon.com/IfThisGoesOn. You can also find Rick on Twitter at WeirdStrug. That's WeirdStrug. Thanks, and we'll see you again soon. If This Goes On, Don't Panic is edited by Alan Bailey, with production by Jasmine Gielink. Our theme music is by Father Flamethrower, additional music is by Christopher Snydrowski, and outro music by Sable Aradia. Intro by Dave Robinson. Thanks for supporting us, and we'll see you again soon.